Hoes don't get wifed.
He sees you dressed out like a thought. He's not going to wife you.
The reality is this. We like it. We don't wife it. What's up? It's your boy A to the L to the A to the N. I'm Alan.
And my name is Nicole.
And welcome to the House of Love podcast.
House of Love is a relationship podcast where real talk meets real solutions. This podcast dives deep into love, connection, and everything in between. Each episode, we tackle honest conversations about dating, marriage, conflict, trust.
So whether you're single, in a relationship, dating, or somewhere in between, House of Love offers wisdom, laughter, and some candid conversations about the everyday topics hot off the press. Because in the end, love wins. So today's topic is you're addressed by how you are dressed. What you think about that, Nicole?
This is a good one. I can't wait to get into it. I can't wait to dive in because we've been seeing some things online about women and men too, but women being addressed by the way they dress, and meaning if you dress too sexy, too skanky, whatever, you're addressed a certain type of way than a woman who's dressed probably more professional or covered up. So we're going to get into that topic in today's episode.
Yeah, and it's an important topic. I think it's a controversial topic, right? Because while we're in the women's empowerment, women's freedom, women's choice, there's also consequences, whether there's positive or negative, to every action that we display out to the universe. So I think that there's the controversial piece, because not everybody's comfortable with wearing conservative clothes. Not everybody's comfortable wearing revealing clothes, right? Yeah. So where you fall in that spectrum, you're most likely to attract what you attract based on how you're dressed.
True. So we all know that the way a person dresses in society often influence how they are treated, how they are perceived.
Yeah, and I think clothing sometimes makes the person, because people get caught up in what I call label whores, right? They get caught up in designer, and then some people, they could be an average Joe and you not know that they got millions in the bank, right? So I think that's important. Some people that dress professionally could have a criminal background. Some people that dress skankily could be a top attorney, right? But it's about the perception, and those perceptions can sometimes generalize a complete group of individuals, or those perceptions can be in turn some people's reality, because that's the only snapshot that somebody has of them when they initially see them, whether that be in the store, at the airport, at the mall, at church, or at work.
And the reality is, first impressions are everything. We all know that, no matter what the situation is, a job, meeting people, networking, relationships, all the things. So no matter what the situation is, we all know whether that's your real character or not, whether you got fancy clothes every day, wear fancy clothes every day or not, or dress a certain way every day or not. When you first meet somebody, how they're dressed makes a huge first impression, and that is how you end up perceiving them. And it's also, are you going to give that person a chance? That's a determining factor, how they present themselves.
Absolutely. And if you have a Gucci belt on, do you have a Gucci attitude? If you have a Louis Vuitton purse, can you really afford the Louis Vuitton purse that you have?
Right.
So everything, for the most part, in society, whether that be, we flash it on social media, or we just are proud of our accomplishments. We worked hard to buy some of the finer things in life. There's nothing wrong with that. But does that equate to the type of person or the high caliber or low caliber character that you possess?
Yeah.
While everybody has the right to express his or herself, it's important to know that those expressions are outward visual representations, and essentially your interview in society. The attire can sometimes impact opportunities or create unnecessary perceptions that shouldn't exist.
So you have to balance self-expression, how you dress, how you present yourself, with society's expectations or standards.
Yeah, and I think with that dynamic, right, that can set the foundation to your courtship, your datingship, your situationship, your relationship, or even your marriage. So I think that's important with understanding the look in which you are presenting yourself to, complete strangers. Every day is an interview.
Okay, so this is a relationship podcast, right? So dressing the part. So if you're out here dating, right, and you're looking for a significant other, especially if you're looking for something serious, you need to dress the part. That's the reality. You need to dress for who you're looking for. You need to dress for the relationships you're looking for, right? So if you're looking for a good fun time, okay, cool. You can dress like you're going to the club or you're going like a fun time.
And best believe, ladies, when we see you dress for a fun time, that's what we're going for, a fun time. Now, granted, there are certain exceptions, right? Where when we may come up, we can tell by your aura, your femininity, your energy, that you're just outwardly expressing how you feel today. You feel sexy. You feel liberated. You feel accomplished. Maybe you just got some great news. Maybe you just got some promotion. Maybe you celebrating your birthday, right? So, again, there's exceptions to every rule. So we're not focusing so much on the exceptions. But overall, in the norm, how you dress is a reflection of the attention that you potentially might get.
Agreed. And I think there's levels to it. I know some women out here have different, perspectives and thoughts on it, but there's levels to dressing sexy. Like, you can have, again, balance with self-expression and societal standards and expectations. If you want to dress sexy, that's okay, but there's levels to it. Like, you can wear a nice dress that's covering you. Maybe it's a little back showing, but not too crazy, and still be sexy. You don't have to wear a full see-through mesh outfit. You don't have to have everything super tight. Sometimes sexy is the material.
Ladies, everybody cannot wear the see-through mesh material. Y'all stop it. Stop doing that to yourselves. Because if you don't have any good friends that tell you, girl, you look a mess, you need to get your new circle of friends.
But you are passionate about that.
Yes, I've seen it before, and I'm like, clearly, what in the world?
Clearly you have.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I know a lot. I know there's the go-to, I've had this conversation, there's the go-to club outfit where it's this full fitted bodysuit, it's fishnet, or it's mesh, and it's just fitting your entire body, and you can see everything.
And that's the point, it's fitted. It's fitted if you fit. If you're not fit, you can't fit it. So stop it.
Regardless of what, there's levels to it. If you want to express yourself as a sexy woman, there's ways to do it while still being perceived by society as a woman that's wholesome, a woman that have standards, that has class. And I think whether y'all want to admit it or not, ladies, the reality is we are going to be judged by how we present ourselves, period. And if you want a husband, you really have to present yourself in a manner that says, I want a husband, because society has expectations. And like we just said in the beginning of the episode, there are how you dress, how you present yourself has natural perceived connotations behind it, because it's a society that we live in. Show up how you want to present yourself to the world, to your potential mate that you're looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think those connotations play a role in our psyche with how well we develop with our age, right? Age doesn't necessarily equal maturity. Fellas, likewise, right? If you present yourselves at an interview, going to work, and pants are half off your butt, what do you think people are going to perceive you as? They're going to perceive you as a thug. They're going to perceive you as somebody not willing to work hard. They're going to perceive you as somebody that potentially doesn't listen to authority, right? And this is for all walks of men. You have to show up, put on clothes that are fitted. It's okay to wear a button-down shirt every once in a while. Everything can't be t-shirt and jeans. It's okay to put a belt around your waist to hold your jeans up. It's okay if you have on some nice slacks or khakis to tuck your shirt in and look presentable. It's okay to have your third button of your polo shirt fastened. Those are things that help attract the type of person that you are looking for in a long-term partner. And I will say one of the things about me, for the most part, I like to be casual, but if I'm going out, I like to be presentable, because my upbringing was always, you don't know when the next opportunity will come.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned upbringing, because I think that plays a role in how you present yourself and how you feel like you need to present yourself, because some people don't have that guidance. And I know you come from the South, and there's certain values I feel like are instilled in the kids in the South that may not be instilled in kids in other parts of the region. You know what I mean?
But there's nothing for nowadays for people to get educated. I tell people all the time, we are the dumbest users of smartphones because everything is at our fingertips. Yeah. All you have to do is watch videos.
Yeah, no, I agree. I only bring that up because sometimes when you have a certain upbringing, you have a certain mindset. Yes, we have access to tools and resources to teach us better or teach us different, but I bring it up because while I didn't get that same pep talk or that same advice, I did get from like my aunts and stuff, like we see a little girl out or a teenage girl out with butt cheeks hanging out or something that's like hoochie mama, you know what I'm saying? Like that was a term. It's like, that's a fast little girl. You don't want to be like that. So while I wasn't taught to be like, oh, you need to present yourself this way, blah, blah, it was instilled in me what you don't do. That is instilled in you from a young age. You naturally don't even fight, you know, like, I can wear what I want to wear.
Right.
You don't really fight that. So I think that's important, like how somebody is raised and what's instilled in them at a young age. That's no excuse, right? If you weren't taught how to present yourself or what's the best way to present yourself, it's really no excuse.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, as we hit on this point about judgment is going to happen regardless, right? You know, we don't live in a judge-free society. Even when we talk about authoritative figures, right? Judges give leniency or they give serious sentences based on the crime committed or even how somebody presents themselves. If you show up to court like you don't care, the judge is less likely to be lenient on you, you know, versus you showing some type of contrition and understanding that what you did was wrong from an accountability standpoint. So judging is going to happen. So what lasting impression are you making on the first impression?
If you meet a man who's a doctor and he sees you dressed out like a thot, he's not going to wife you.
The reality is this. We like it. We don't wife it. Hoes don't get wifed.
I do want to address the men because y'all need a little bit of a reeling in too, because y'all have to present yourself well too. If you see a woman who is an eligible bachelorette, right? She's eligible. She takes care of herself. She's pretty. She's attractive. Carries herself well. You need to understand that you need to present yourself a certain way. Make sure you have a haircut. Make sure you brush your hair. For a woman like me, you need to dress like a grown man. So again, men have to dress the part too. That's all I'm saying. And male, female, we have to dress the part.
You hit the nail right on the head to segue to our next point. Dress the part. Dress the part that you want to play in your life. Dress the part that you want to play in society. Dress the part that you want to play in your family dynamic. People are judgmental by nature, right? So dress the part. It's okay to switch it up. I don't expect you to have on a work outfit while you're outside cutting the grass.
Yeah, dress the part. If you are somebody that's seriously looking for a relationship, dressing the part in your entire life, not just for the dates, is going to affect everything. Dressing the part is not only going to help you get that person that you're looking for, but it's going to bring more value to your entire life and help you keep that person that you're looking for.
Absolutely. And I think you touched on a good thing. Dressing the part to help increase your value. It may not be the value to another person, but just your self-confidence. So we look at all those factors before potentially choosing a suitable long-term mate. So that's why dressing the part is just as important. Dressing the part plays a huge part in what we think about psychologically.
Yeah, and let's be clear, like dressing the part does not mean you have to wear all the labels. You have to go out and spend your rent money on an outfit. That doesn't mean that. It means how you put yourself together. You can spend the same amount of money on a presentable outfit that it costs for a skanky outfit.
And I think that's important too, because we tend to go for the trendy outfits or the trendy clothes, and that's one of the things I don't do well. I'm not a shopper. I'm a bargain shopper. I'm not a label whore. I can care less about the label, but if it looks nice and is relatively inexpensive, I can find something or get some of my lady friends to give me some pointers on what would look good with that.
I know some of my friends that they pride themselves on the man they're dating with. Oh, girl, he always wear Gucci. He always wear Louis. And I'm like, okay. But my mindset, again, y'all, I am the woman who is, I think a little bit differently, and I'm thinking long term. I'm thinking serious relationship. So how I think at this age is, if this man always got on Gucci, Louis, Prada, whatever,
he gonna buy me Gucci if I ask for a period.
So listen, if he always got that on, right? My mindset is like, okay, what do you do? What's your credit score looking like? What's your bank account looking like? If your finances are effed up, y'all can make it through to the wedding, to marriage, and that will fall apart because that stuff will be revealed over time.
And if you go and look at the Steve Jobs, the Bill Gates, and all that stuff, they not wearing labels.
Yeah. So again, recapping this part of the episode is dress the part, and you don't have to break the bank to do it.
Absolutely. So when we talk about you're addressed by how you're dressed, right? You're already being judged, right? Mm-hmm. So then you have to be conscious with dressing the part. Appearance plays a huge role with negating some of those judgmental perceptions.
Appearance is your presentation, how you show up. So we know that there's judgment, right? We know society's going to judge us. We talked about dressing the part and what that means. And so now it's like, okay, now that you know that, how are you going to show up? How are you going to go into the dating world and present yourself?
Right, because the reality is presentation is everything. Yeah, we had preconceived notions. Yeah, they were being judged. Yes, we made a conscious, active effort to dress the part. Now, how we present ourselves to the world makes a difference long term.
It's so much that goes into it. Like, we're talking, this is a dating relationship podcast, and how you show up into the dating world is important. So your outfit is one thing. You know, your haircut, hairstyle is one thing. But if you smoke and drink a lot, if you don't work out, that's going to show up in how you present yourself. If you're watching this video, this podcast episode, and maybe you haven't always showed up your best, take some of these, you know, some of the points that we talked about in today's episode and just evaluate your situation and think about, okay, what do I need to do differently? Rethink how you want to present yourself to the world.
And I think on the contrary, women, when you see a man and maybe he don't have the designer, or he don't own the designer, and maybe he doesn't have the swag, those are things that you all can discuss. Those are things that you can help him with the style. Everybody doesn't have a good sense of style, right? But their mindset, their character, how they show up, those are factors that are important. And men, I want you to be in a space where you look at things from an objective point of view and you say, hey, I don't need those things to be successful. I am already successful in my own right. I can get up, show up, present myself in a clean and neat way so that the woman that I'm hoping to attract, she sees me as valuable based on who I am, not what I have on.
Yeah, that's real. And ladies, remember that you are not just your body. You know, this woman's dressing sexy, I gotta dress even sexier to get the man's attention in the club. Remember that you don't have to do that. That's not going to bring you the right attention. That's not going to bring you a long-term serious relationship. That's going to bring you somebody who wants to just hit and quit.
How you're dressed is how you're addressed. So there's nothing wrong with elevating your mindset. How you show up in the dating market is important.
Yeah, and I don't want women to think that I'm being hard on them with some of the things I say on this podcast, but it's a reality, and I know a lot of women are single. A lot of, like, men have options, and after a while it seems like we don't, or we're sharing men, and I don't want us to be stuck in those situations. So if I'm being hard, it's because, girl, I want you to find love. Like, that's what we're here for.
Well, she's not saying it, but I'm going to say it. Fellas, how you show up matters. Yes, you need to be hard on yourself. Yes, if you got sons, you need to be hard on them, because the reality is you don't get anything that you deserve. You get what you work for.
Thank y'all so much for tuning into today's episode, how we show up, dressing the part, how you want to be addressed. We appreciate y'all for tuning in.
Yeah, absolutely. So if your first time being here, please, hit the like button and subscribe so you can see more episodes, and that helps drive the algorithm so we can feed you more positive energy, because our hope is that there's something here for everybody, in hopes that we can develop more solutions, create fewer broken homes, and expand our horizon with creating more positive, loving families and essentially better images, because in the end, love wins. Peace.
Just say today's topic is.
I can't get it out. Shit. I'm just trying to summarize it. That's why I say summary.